I'll start. And now
Sure.
video. Yeah.
Sure. 1 second. Sure, you can start.
Vanakkam, namaste, and welcome to day 2 of Tamil Heritage Trust's Indology Festival 2022. Before we go into today's event, I'd like to give a brief introduction of Tamil Heritage Trust and its activities. Tamil Heritage Trust has been functioning for the last 12 years with an objective to improve the understanding, appreciation, dissemination, and celebration of India's rich cultural heritage. We do this through multiple programs and events, through our monthly heritage talks, where we offer a platform for both enthusiasts and experts to speak on a number of topics that are related to Indian heritage. We obviously put them on YouTube. All our events are live on YouTube, where so you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch our events. We also conduct intense workshops on temple appreciation, museum appreciation, Pallava Grantham workshops that we conduct for the general public to improve the heritage awareness within the general public. Through our 2-day Pechu Kacheri event, which is an intense seminar on a central topic, where we did multiple Pechu Kacheris on the art of the Pallavas, the art of the Pandyas, the latest being the art of the Orissa region that we did in 2022, in the beginning of this year. Through our site seminars, which is an event that happens in January, where we select a place, a heritage site in India, and spend 3 or 4 months as a group studying about it, preparing about the place, and doing research about the place. These are the various events that we conduct through the year. We have been functioning for the last 12 years. We've been conducting these events regularly. We also engage with teachers around Tamil Nadu through a program called Alamar Avai, where we train the school teachers from various parts of Tamil Nadu on aspects related to Indian heritage, so that they can become ambassadors of heritage within their schools, and they can do a better job of disseminating this to the school children. We have been instituting, for the last 2 years, we've instituted the Professor Swaminathan Heritage Award, where we recognize an individual who is doing excellent work in the field of heritage, be it doing research about heritage or dissemination of information or preservation. We have been doing this since 2020. This year, we are also instituting the V. Venkaya Epigraphy Award, named after obviously Sri Venkaya, who was the first Indian epigraphist to the government of India. The award is meant to recognize individuals who have contributed in the field of epigraphy. This could be related to the discovery of new inscriptions or unrecorded inscriptions, reinterpretation of existing inscriptions, or cascading or disseminating the knowledge that is contained in these inscriptions. Details are available on our website, www.tamilheritage.in. The last date for submitting nominations is the 19th of June. So please go ahead and visit our website to find out more details about this award. Tamil Heritage Trust is instituting this award along with Srimati Sunita Madhavan, who is a great granddaughter of Sri V. Venkaya. We conducted our first Indology Festival in the year 2020. This was a week-long festival where we had lectures from experts around the world, talking about Indian prehistory, early history, mathematics, temple architecture, Chola bronzes, and so on. Pan-India is a word that is catching a lot of attention in India. Our Indology Festival this year is by all means a Pan-India festival. We are celebrating well-known and lesser-known dynasties that existed in India, that ruled various parts of India between the 8th and 13th centuries, which we call the early medieval period. We have 14 lectures spread over 5 days. where we are going to talk about the contribution made by these dynasties towards temple building, towards art in India. A recap of yesterday's event. Yesterday was the inaugural day. After the inaugural address by Professor Swaminathan, we had a keynote address by Dr. Keshavan Veluthat, who focused on the Tamil and Malayalam speaking regions of India. And he looked at the early historical period and the phenomenon or the social changes that occurred that led to the transition of the early medieval period that we are talking about. Following that, we had Dr. Chitra Madhavan, who spoke about the imperial Cholas. She focused on the various temples, the sculptures, the copper plates, the lithic inscriptions, the coins, and various aspects of the imperial Cholas. Today is day 2. Once again, we welcome you to the day 2 event. Today we have 2 lectures. The first one is by Mr. Seetharaman. He is going to talk about the later Pandyas and temple variations from Pallavas and Cholas. Sr.S.Seetharaman is an architect and builder from Kumbakonam and has done several heritage structures and community homes for senior citizens. He has a passion for temple architecture, which is one of the natural extensions of his profession. He is now pursuing his PhD on Pandya temples. He is also the editor of the Tamil online magazine, varalaru.com, which is one of an important reference websites for temple lovers. He has earlier spoken on Pandya temples at the Tamil Heritage Trust's Pechu Kacheri 2019, which was basically Pandya Nadu, the Pandya art that we did in 2019. He has traveled extensively within Tamil Nadu and covered over 1,000 temples individually, analyzing them for patterns. He has also published a book on his key highlights of his temple travels and inferences. With these few words, I would like to welcome Sr.S.Seetharaman to deliver his lecture.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram to all. Thanks for the nice introduction.
Seetharaman, you can now share your presentation.
Yeah.
Just go for share screen. Yes. Perfect.
Good evening to all. Thanks for the nice introduction. And I would like to express my sincere thanks to give me an opportunity to share some thoughts about the architectural features of Pandya structural temples. So before we get into the architectural features of Pandya temples, I would like to introduce a minimum amount of political summation of the Pandyas. So as far as the Pandya dynasty is concerned, it is one among the longest reigning dynasty in entire India. So from 6th century BC to 17th century AD, that means more than 3,200 years of history. In India, no other dynasty has such a great background of history. So to get their history, we have got so many references. From 5th century BCE up to 7th century BCE, we have got the following great references from our epics and Puranas, like Mahabharata, Skanda Purana, Bhagavata Purana. So in all such great epics, we have got some references about the Pandyas. Journals in Mahavamsa, Kalidasa, Megasthenes, like the great tourists from the West, Marco Polo, they are all mentioning about Pandya kings. Copper plates from 770 CE, Velvikudi copper plates to 1715 CE, Kuttalam copper plates. Inscriptional evidences right from Ashoka period to 17th century. So we can divide the more than 2 millennium years of Pandya history into 5 segments. The first one is Sangam Pandya, which is right from 500 CE up to 3rd century AD. Then historical Pandya, 500 to 800 CE. So when I am talking the timeline, so we are all some old students. We used to use the BC and AD concept. So recently they have changed into CE and BCE. So sometimes I may use BC, AD or CE. Kindly excuse me for that. So the historical Pandyas between 500 to 800 CE, medieval Pandyas 800 to 1200 CE. From the historical period, we will be having plenty of inscriptional references. Later Pandyas up to 1750 CE, all, except from Sangam Pandyas, all the 4 dynasties, we have got plenty of historical references and copper plate references. But up the Sangam period, we have plenty of literary evidences. So right from 5th century BC to 18th century AD, we have references from many folds. So from the information we have got from inscriptions, literatures, copper plates, we have been trying to get a genealogy, proper genealogy, but a moderate genealogy we have got, because there are some challenges to get the genealogy done properly. We are listing it, some of them here. So many inscriptions, literary evidences, we'll get the same names from various references. Many brothers, blood relatives ruling in different region of the country at the same time. This is signified by too many overlaps in inscription names for kings. Chola style of, during Chola dynasty, there is easy way of, demarcating the kings by way of Rajagesari, Paragesari, only these two. Like the same methodology, even in Pandya, they used to call Maravarma, Jadavarma. So these two titles are alternating the kings. But when we are going through the inscriptional evidences, even alternative kings will have the same title. So this kind of confusions are there. So the Chola style of Maravarman, Jadavarman, alternate titles forwarded for some time in medieval Pandya. Coexistence of Chola regions as Chola Pandyas with similar names for almost like 150 names repeated from Rajendra period to Kulothunga period. So these are all the challenges of arriving a proper genealogy of Pandya. But still, from the age of Sangam up to 18th century, we have named down some of the prominent kings' names, which are available from the sources I have told you just earlier. So from the Sangam period, we have got some 21 names, like Vadivalamban Indra Pandian, Pandya Salai, Mudugudimi Peruvadi. The name itself, very interesting to know. Pandya Salai, Mudugudimi Peruvadi. There is an information about this particular king. He is doing almost daily a yaga or yajna. He doesn't look like a king because he has got the Brahminical outlook. So that is why Palyaga Sale means many yajnas. Mudugudumi is, it is a kind of outlook that Mudugudumi denotes the outlook. The Peruvadi, Thiruvazhudi, this kind of suffixes are very common in Sangam period. Like that, these are all the names we named down from the literary evidences. So it goes like this. You can see the many, almost like 21 kings' names in that slide. Then from the historical period starts, which is roughly from the 5th century AD. So in general, so many scholars have started the historical period from Kadungon only. But before that, there are some reference from K.V. Raman's the Pandya history. We get to know the Acharya Sundara Pandyan, who is instrumental for setting up the first empire Pandyas during the historical period. Then the Kadungon, who well established the Pandya kingdom. During those times, the Pandya kingdom, in terms of the landscape, it is very vast. We can divide the entire Tamil land into two. The divider is the river Tenbennai. The southern bank of Tenbennai up to Kanyakumari, the early Pandya territory was there. So northern bank till middle of Andhra, Pallava territory. So from 500 to the rise of Cholas, Pandya's landscaping and their ruling areas are very high. So I am just naming some of the great Pandyas during the historical period, which is from 500 to 800 AD. Acharya Sundara Pandyan, Kadungon, Maravarman Avani Chulamani, Chediyan Sendan, Maravarman Arigesari, Kochadayan Ranadiran, Rajasimavan, Jadila Parandaga. Then it goes, up to the Chola rise in Tanjavur. Even the rise of Chola, the Pandyas are not suppressed completely. They are there in between, on the small packets they have been ruling, and they are gathering together, and they are establishing themselves continuously. That we can come to know when we are reading the Pandya history through the many references. We come to know they never accept the defeat, either by Pallava, Cholas, or Pandyas. They keep on emerging themselves, and they keep on doing some fantastic social work, temple building activities, and making business with every other kingdom. This kind of information, when we are going through the Pandya history, we get to know. So they never become tired. Even they have been defeated by many kings, immediately they emerge. So that is what the history of Pandya shows when we read the history of Pandya. So later Pandyas, between the beginning of 13th century to end of 15th century, when we make a note of the Pandya kings, the list goes very high. So the scope of this presentation is about the temple building activity of the Pandya territory. So I would like to restrict the political history by explaining only 3 kings. Why I am choosing these 3 kings? These 3 kings period is the key changing period, or from the perspective of Pandyas or the perspective of Cholas, the course of history has been changed by figure up 1 or 2 events which changed the entire course of history by both the sides. Veera Pandyan. So the Veera Pandya, whoever who read the great epical story by Kalki, Ponniyin Selvan, so they would have definitely known this particular king. So Veera Pandya his tenure is between 946 to 966. So he is the one who beheaded one of the princes of Parandagavan called Uttama-Seetharaman. Because of that, he had the title Cholan Talaikonda Veera Pandyan. This particular event has triggered the great rival between Cholas and Pandya. So then the Cholas took revenge within a short period. They have beheaded Veera Pandyan. The crown prince of Sundara Chola did that. The consequence of that particular event, the Veera Pandya Abatudavis murdered Aditya Karigalan. So this particular event sets fire between Cholas and Pandyas. After that, here in the Chola kingdom, Uttama Cholan take the crown of Chola kingdom, followed by Rajaraja. And during Rajaraja period, the entire Pandya kingdom comes under the control of Cholas. From that moment to Maravarman Kulasekharan, from that moment to rise of Maravarman Sundara Pandyan, the Pandyas were suppressed by Cholas every means. Almost 300 years gone. So the rise of Maravarma Sundara Pandyan, he invaded Chola territory and destroyed all the palaces and buildings. The enraged Sundara Pandya took a great revenge over Cholas. Again, in another 3 years, he invaded again because of the non-receiving tax. But somehow he showed mercy on the Chola kingdom and given back the kingdom to the person who was ruling under Pandya. Probably he is third Rajaraja or third Kulothunga. I am not sure about that. Either one among them. They got back the kingdom from him again. So when he was invading and destroying the Chola buildings and the palaces, he was called Sonadu Konda Maravarman Sundara Pandyan. He later becomes Cholanadu Valangiya Sundara Pandyan when he gave the kingdom back to Cholas as feudatory. When Cholas resisted again, there was one more sacking of Chola kingdom in 1231. He was called Napoleon of South India and had a large country up to Andhra in his control. Had grants for many temples and big golden roofs. After that, we are going to see one more Pandya king. Maravarman Kulasekharan I. His tenure of reign between 1268 to 1312. He is one among the great kings of Pandya clan. He was ruling almost about 40 years. The inscription speaks of peace and prosperity during the period. Even Marco Polo mentioned him. Under his rule, the Pandya territory was absolutely in peace, wealthy, and many temple building activities, construction of mandavas, construction of gopurams. This all happened during his period. In 1302, the accession of the elder son, Jadavarma Sundara Pandyan III as co-regent took place. This provoked the other son Veerapandiyan to kill his father. In the civil war that ensued, Veerapandiyan won and ruled from Madurai. The other son Sundarapandiyan fled to Burdul near Trichy and ruled a small part. It is said that when Malik Kafur invaded Tamil Nadu with support of Ballal of Hoysala, Sundara also died with him and guided the troops to Madurai. With the sacking of Madurai, Pandya rule from Madurai disintegrated and the generations moved to Tenkasi on western border and Tirunelveli on southern border. So why I have chosen these three things? Veerapandiyan sets the fire between Cholas and Pandyas that changes the course of history in Pandya as well as in Chola region. Again, Maravarma Sundara Pandya gained complete control over Chola kingdom. So that also changed the course of history. So from him, the mode is changed from Chola to Pandya. The Maravarman Kulasegaran, here, it is also a turning point in Pandya history. Not only in Pandya history, it is a turning point of Tamil Nadu history. Because of his Sundarapandiyan, his son Sundarapandiyan, Malik Kafur entered into Pandya territory. So that also changes some course of consequences in the Tamil land. So it goes. The political history goes up to 18th century. So after the later Pandyas, the Tenkasi Pandyas emerged and ruled many packets of Pandya kingdom. So during the historical Pandya, the period from 500 AD to 18th century AD, the temple building activities of Pandyas, we can say, very notable mark they have left. The imprint they have put in the Tamil land, particularly the southern part of Tamil Nadu, with various building activities, right from cave temples, monoliths, structural temples, paintings, goburams, mandabas. So various kind of temple building activities they have undergone. Before we getting into Pandya style of architecture, as we know all, the godfather of Indian temple building activities, Mahendra Pallava. So let us begin with the Pallava structure of temple building. Because of the inscription we found from the Mandakapattu Lakshidayana, he was the first king who did temple with non-perishable material. Here is, I am putting a slide to introduce about a Vimana. The simple Vimana is called an Aranga Vimana. The simple Vimana has 6 parts. The base one is Adhisthana, then the wall, Prastra, then Hara structure, second Tala, Griva, Shigara, Stubi. So when we have the 6 parts, we call it as a simple Aranga Vimana. So during the Pallava period, the early temple activities started from the cave temples. The first few temples are just have a plain sanctum and attempt of Hara structure. The terrace elements, the first terrace elements we are able to see at Dalavanur. Then the Hara structure above the Mandapa. We'll be able to see from Koneri Mandapa, Varaga, Mahishasuramadini caves. There various pillar types Then some of the caves. So when we are talking about the Pallava temple building activity, even from the cave temple structure itself, their excellence have been proved. They make a Sandara attempt. After the cave temples, they have mastered in monolithic radhas. So whoever go to Mamallavaram, they can find the Panchamandava radhas. In one place, they have executed all shape of figura, all type of bases, Dvitala and Tritalas, full Ashtanga Vimana, attempt to Sandara in Dharmaraja Radha. So after executing that 5 radhas, we can see the Valayan Kuttai Tali, Pidari Tali, they are all the monolithic temples. So when we talk about the monolith, it is very interesting. It is not like scooping the caves. It is actually excavating a mountain from the top to bottom. So almost the monoliths are a single stone temple, which is excavated from the top to the bottom. So it goes. When they are switching over from cave temples, monolith, then into structural temples, the structural temples of Pallavas are superior in terms of the uniqueness of temple building. Right from the beginning, their experimental structures are fantastic. As I have shown the slide, the Aranga Vimana, and the next one is called Ashtanga Vimana. Ashtanga Vimana is nothing but a 2-tiered Vimana. So placing one more tala with the hara structures. So 2 parts of the elements are included. So Ashtanga Vimana, the Panamalai is one of the earliest structural temple of Pallavas, which is very interesting to note. 3 of the Vimana, particularly Vimana, has 3 segmentations: Sala, Karna, from left to right, 1 Karna, 1 Sala, one more Karna. So in between 2 Karnas, there is Sala segmentation is there. In Panamalai, a new experimentation is done by Pallavas, projecting the Sala Batra as Vimana. Is a very unique and interesting feature. The Sala will look like entire Vimana. It will have right from basement to stubi. In between, there is a sanctum which can house a deity. That is called Angalaya. In Kailasanada temple, every segmentation is formed as Angalaya. Even the Karna segmentation is able to house a deity. Sala segmentation is able to house a deity. Like that. Except the prime entrance, all Karna, Sala segmentation is projected and formed as Angalaya, which has a full Vimana feature, which is very much unique in Pallava structural temple building activity. On top of it, the Kailasanada temple, Vaikunta Perumal temple, there is Sandara, which is also the earliest experimental and well executed by Pallava. Sandara is nothing but a circumambulatory passage encompassed by 2 walls around the sanctum. So in Kailasanada temple, both Angalaya and Sandharam is executed. So which is very much unique in terms of the earliest structural temple building activities. So, and also the Kailasanatha temple has 4 tiers Vimana. Vaigunda Perumal, 3 tier Vimana. It goes, like that it goes. Even in Tiruvadigai, it is 6-story Vimana with the same Sandharam and Angalayam. Then we'll move into the Chola territory. So when we talk about the art history of Pallavas, Pandyas, and Cholas, we will come across many interesting information. Pallavas have all type of temple building activities like caves, monoliths, structural temples. Like them, Pandyas also have cave temples, monoliths, and structural temples. Even though the Chola made a very big attempt of temple building activity, among the many Chola kings, Rajaraja and Rajendra made their imprint very high. Even though there are variety of temples, Chola doesn't have the privilege or the pride of having cave temples and monoliths. They have done only the structural temples. But in structural temples, they have shown a great variety. So immediate after Vijayalaya Chola, Aditya established the medieval Cholas well. He invaded Pandyas, Pallavas. He has become a great emperor. Then he started temple building. So during Aditya period, many temples have been built, particularly in the Kaveri region. He has done many renovations from brick temple to stone temples. Generally, all his temples have Padabandha Adhisthana, Ekadala or Dvitala Vimana. Interestingly, no Mugamandaba, except in Tiruparanam. Some of the early temples of Aditya has no Mugamandabam, or there is no niches in the Mugamandabam. Only 3 niches, 3 cardinal niches: south, west, and north. One more interesting information I am telling you, which is very, very, very interesting. All identified Aditya temples, the Pakka Aditya temples, have only the forms of Shiva everywhere. Dakshinamurti. Usually, even in Pandyas or Pallavas, around the sanctum, the niches have the cardinal niches will have a kind of set of deities, like southern side Dakshinamurti, western side any form of Lord Vishnu, northern side Lord Brahma. So this is the standard format during the early period temples, but Aditya changed the style. All Aditya temples have only various forms of Shiva in the cardinal as well as the hara structures. So example, Tirunaitanam, Tirupayanam, Tiruchotruturai, Tirupundurti. These 4 have identified absolute Aditya temples, which are in good position even today. So if anyone can go and you can see this particular elements of Aditya. And one more interesting point I'm going to tell you here, which is relevant to the Pandya temple architecture too. So Varagana too is a contemporary of Aditya. we all know the Tirupattur temple is executed by Varagunattu. So one particular key element which is common in all Aditya temple is Virutaspatita. So before that, it appears in Aditya temples. It appeared first in Pandya territory, that in Tirupattur temple. After that, the Vijayalaya Cholishwaram by Muttarayas. So that in the southern part, the Cholas and Pandya territory, only in structural temples, the special element called Virutaspatita is seen. And another interesting information is during the entire Pallava dynasty, no structural temple has this particular element called Virutaspatita. But this is visible in one particular monolith, which is called, I think, the Ganesha Radha has the Virutaspatita in the Hara. Except that the Virutaspatita is not seen anywhere in the Pallava territory. So the early Cholas have done many innovations. Even in Aditya period, one more interesting, unique architectural features introduced in Lalgudi, which is the Galapadas and Vedipadas have a miniature sculptures. Probably we can say the miniature sculptures in Galapada and Vedipada introduced by Aditya and developed by Parandaka. It goes up to the entire Chola dynasty later. Then Rajaraja and Rajendra, they have excelled in the form of architecture. You know, we can say the glorious architecture of the South India ever seen is the Bragadishwara temple at Tanjavur and the Gangaikanda Chodappa. Both are very much unique in terms of their execution. We can talk later about that in detail. So up to 15 tiers, Rajaraja. In Tamil Nadu, that is the most beautiful and the highest monument, which has 15 tiers, is the Rajarajeshwaram at Tanjavur. So all type of vimanas executed, thematic during Rajaraja II, the temple at Dharasuram, which is also unique in terms of architecture, which has the miniature sculptures around the entire temple, having all the events of Nayanmar. The Devara events are sculptured in a miniature. So we can call it a Devaram temple. Like that, Cholas are excelled in the form of structural temples. Now, let us come into the Pandya territory, which is the primary focus. So because of this only, we made a small attempt of bringing you the history of political history of Pandya. So when Rajaraja took over the Chola kingdom, he established the administration, military, everything under his control, not only in Cholanadu, Pandya Nadu, some portion of Kerala, and some portion of Venginadu also. This results in Pandya Nadu a kind of suppression. It goes up to the Maravarman Sundara Pandyan. Even though the Pandyas are able to execute beautiful temples in a small manner. As we have been talking about the various temple Pandyas, are you able to hear, sir?
Your audio level has gone down.
I think because of
You can even remove the earphones completely and talk directly onto the mic, but you have to change your microphone.
I think it is automatically changed, I believe.
I think it is okay. Just try now.
Is it audible now?
Yeah, better. Please continue.
Yeah, thank you. So Pandyas have attempted all type of temple building.
No, it's low. It is low. You really need to increase it up a little bit.
Just a moment. Sorry for the interruption. Just a moment. Where about the Hello.
This is better. Excellent. Please continue.
Thank you. Like Pallavas, they have been executing all type of temple building activities, right from monolith. Here we see is the Kalugumalai. You can see it is excavated from the top. We are able to clearly see the Hara structures and second Dala, Griva, Sigara, and Stubi. The Adi Dala is still under construction. It is left in between. So how a monolith is being excavated, we can clearly get to know from this. So this is the masterpiece architecture by Pandyas. Then the Ekadala Vimanas, Dvitala Vimanas. Pandya temple also is having all type of Vimanas and Ekatala, Dvitala, Tritala, even up to 4 talas we can see in Uttara Gosamangai. So from 1 to 4 tala Vimanas are available in the Pandya territory. The structural temples right from 750 AD to 1300 AD, plenty of temples are executed. We are going to see some of them. What we are seeing here is Vijayanarayanam Manonmanishwara temple. Why I have taken this particular slide from, this is taken from the book called The Lower Dravida Desa by M.A. Dake and Meister. I visited so many temples which are not in the form as indicated in the picture. So luckily, we should thank the old scholars who have captured the original structures and saved in terms of at least a picture form. So the Vijayanarayanam Manonmariya temple, kindly have a keen look of the pictures shown in the slides. Here I am going to explain how the Pandya temple, the Ekadala temples, Dvitala temples, Tritala temples are formed and executed in a unique style. So we have seen structural temples by everyone like Pallavas, Cholas, and Pandyas, many other feudatories. Everyone has left their own mark of execution. So here what we see, the Adhisthana is a Pradibandha Adhisthana. You can see the Pradivari. Usually the Pradivari in Chola, there is a Vyalavari is there. Or in Pandya, you can see as simple projections. The Adhisthana is succumbed in the soil. We are able to see only from the Kumuda level, Kumuda, Pattika, and Vedika. So this is a Pradibandha Vimana, simple Vimana. The segmentations are very simple. 4 pilasters make 3 segmentations. The center one is called the Sala. The other 2, we can easily find it as Karnabatra. Here you can see the niche, which is very small, which cannot house a deity. So the temples of Pandyas, this is a unique style. The niches provided in Chola territory will be easily able to housing a deity. But in Pandya territory, the niches are small and is not able to house a deity. So this is the primary and the unique difference between the Pandya and Chola architecture. Here is the Vijayanarayanam Perumal temple. It's again a simple Egadala structure. You can easily notice there is no niche. A plain wall demarcated by 4 pilasters. The central one is Sala, the remaining 2 are Karnas. Also, the segmentation of Bhadra is very important. It's very interesting too. So, if we know the a kind of small information, we'll be enjoying and we'll be able to find. If you see only such segmentation, even the Griva Sigara Stubi is not seen, you will be able to say it is an Ekatala Vimana. Wherever you see the simple structure of this kind of Bhadra segmentation, you can see it's a Ekatala Vimana. Then what is a Dvidala Vimana? How do you find? Even if we don't see the upper part of the Vimana, how do we find either it is a single-storied or 2-storied? Here at the Tirupatur, I will explain about that. So make a note of this particular temple, in the last portion of the presentation, I will compare the Chola building activity and Pandya building activity. So these 2 temples are very important to make a difference. But as an outlook, everything will be looking same. But when we look into deep, we'll be able to find the difference. So during the later part of 9th century, Varagana II executed such a beautiful, fantastic temple, we can say. So even now, this temple is in a good form. The Adi Tala is original. I don't know about the 2nd and 3rd Tala, but when they have rebuilt or reconstruct, the same structure has been maintained. So thanks to the people, those who have done the reconstruction, they have not touched, they have not deviated. So it can be one among the greatest example of reconstruction of a old temple. So they have not touched any part. They have not deviated. Even the 2nd Tala and 3rd Tala, it is a pure Nagara temple. Here you can see the Karnabhadra and Salabhadra are slightly projected. It forms a kind of niche in between. There they have placed the wall Panjara. So when this kind of demarcation done, you can easily identify there is definitely more than 1 floor. So this particular temple has 2 floors. Up to the Kaboda, the ground floor is over. Again, you can see 1 more Kaboda. After that, Griva Sigara Stubi. So it is an Ashtanga Vimana. Here we can see in the Hara, between the Karnakudu and the Sala, we can see the Vritaspatita. This element is only available in the Pandya territory in this temple. It is very interesting to observe or note, Adita and Varaguna too are the contemporaries. Actually, this is the ground plan drawn by the author of the book. I found a small mistake in this, actually. As we have seen, the temple, the Mugamandapa is slightly reduced in size, but here it shows the Mugamandapa and Karuvare are in the same line. It is a small mistake. Probably when the author goes to the temple, it might look like this. Later on, after the reconstruction done, the Mugamandapa might be changed a little bit, or it is the mistake of the author. I don't know about it, but somehow the drawing and the temple is not matched perfectly. Kovilpatti, Puvanatha Swami temple. Even when the Dokke writes about this temple, he says up to the basement the temple is original. After that, it is reconstructed in the later period. Now we are not able to see this structure. You can see the Pushpa Podika, which is generally even in Cholas or Pandyas. It is the Pushpa Podika is introduced in the first in 12th century. In both dynasties, even in Pandya or Cholas, the Pushpa Podika is introduced in 12th century only. So when we able to see the Pushpa Podika, it is a kind of late. But the temple says it is built on 878. That is why the author of the book says up to the basement the temple is original, then it is reconstructed. It is, according to the Bhadra segmentation, we can easily say a Dvitala Vimana. Korkai. It's a simple, small temple. Even up to the stubi, it might be not more than 11 feet, I believe. A very simple temple. You can see the Bhadra segmentation is just the 4 pilasters make the Bhadra segmentation. Sala, Bhadra, Sala, Karna, Sala, Karna, and above the first Tala, Vyadavari. Here also we can make an interesting note. The immediate after Kaboda is called Bhumi Desam. In Chodanadu, the Bhumi Desam has Yadivari, ornamental variations will be there. But in Pandya Nadu, you can see Yanai Kudrai, elephants, rampant elephants and horses you can see. So when we demarcate the style of Pandyas and Cholas, this small key elements can help us to identify either it is a Pandya temple or Chola temple. Chola temple in the Pandya region, Pandya temple in the Chola region. There are a very interesting topic to be discussed in detail. This is one among such temple. It is Kannanur Balasubramanya Swami temple. It is an Egadala Vimana. It is an original structure. Even now, it is an original structure. It is reconstructed by some time, but still the original structure is not disturbed. It is some 25 to 30 kilometers southwest of Pudukkottai. It is very much in the land of Pandyas, but there is a strong speculation about this particular temple. Either it is built by Pandya or Pallava because of the features. As we have seen the previous slides, the niches of Pandya temples have, it is not able to house a deity. Here it is, it has a sculpture. I think the southern Dakshinamurti is original, actually, original belonging to the original period. But still, I am not confirmed this temple is built by Aditya. The earliest inscription available in the temple is Aditya 1. For various reasons, I'm just leaving as it is, a speculation. So in the days to come, people may find who has built it. The primary reason is during Chola temple building activities, right from 9th century to 13th century, we are not able to see any Muruga temples. But in Pandya territory, there are references from cave temples, Tiruchendur, Valli Guhai, Tirupuram Gundram. These are all dedicated to Lord Subramanya. So there is an habit of making temples for Muruga, Vinayaga, and Perumal, Shiva. These are, during the course of time in Pandya territory, all type of temples were built for various gods. But during Chola period, majorly the temples are contributed to Shiva alone. So later, after second Rajaraja, Amman shrine building activity started, then it slowly goes up. So very few temples dedicated to Lord Vishnu during Chola period in the Kaveri Delta region. So in that case, this Balasubramania temple, the original deity of the temple is Muruga, which is also supported by, in the Griva you can see, immediate of the Tala above, the elephants are placed. From that, we can come to know the deity of the temple is Lord Muruga only. So the Balasubramania Swami is also found in the inscriptions. The temple is dedicated to Lord Muruga. Still, there is a debate. Either it is a Pandya temple or Chola temple. I leave it to the people. Tirunelveli, Nallayappa Swami temple. Here also you can see the simple structure. The Magara Dharana is in a unique style. It is only a beauty element. The Sala and the niche. You can see the pilasters and the primary wall doesn't have any cave inside. It's a, you can see between the pilasters and the niche pilasters, the mother wall is same. You can make a note. Many of the Pandya temples, Egatala, Dvitala, Tridala, you can see this particular feature. This may be the unique feature of Pandya temples. The Magara Dharana is very beautiful, which is also unique in terms of pattern. Yenadi. It is a very simple structure. Egadala Vimana. We can see the Badra segmentation, equal Badra segmentation, and the forms of galas, galabadas, but doesn't have any sculpture in it. So this is another interesting and fantastic temple of Pandya territory. It is situated in Walishwaram, near Ambasamudram. The temple is in a very good condition even today. This is one among the best temples of Pandya territory. But the inscription says, the earliest inscription is available by Rajaraja. But so far we have identified some of the elements of Pandya, the difference between Cholas and Pandyas. Here also you can see the primary. During the Salabhadra, you can see the niche. In Cholanadu, nowhere you can find such a narrow niche, doesn't have any deity. So from the style itself, we can arrive. This might be belonging to the Pandyas. Also from this temple, I can show you one more unique feature. In Cholanadu, you can see in the Bhadra Salas, the prime wall of Vimana, the Bhadra of prime wall of Vimana will have a primary deity, like in the southern side, Dakshinamurti, western side, either Lingodbhava or any form of Vishnu, northern side, Brahma. Here, you can see a very interesting attribute by Pandyas. The Hara structure has all such deities. You can see it is the west side of the Vimana. See the Hara. In the Sala, you can see Lingodbhava. In between, the Nasikas will have other forms of Lord Shiva and Gangadhara. Many other things are there. But all four corners, the cardinal deities, which is generally seen in Chola period, is seen in the Hara structure here, which is absolutely unique in terms of comparatively with the Chola temples. This particular temple has a unique variation in terms of the grand show. It is a Dvitala Vimana. I have also noticed the Buddha Mala underneath the Kapoda is very prominent. The entire Vallabhi occupies the Buddha Mala, which is seen fantastic. In this particular picture, I also have noted an interesting point. Immediate above the Kapoda, the Vyadavari is there. It is fantastically mixing with the Sala deity of Lingodbhava. We know the story of Lingodbhava. Lord Mahavishnu took an incarnation of Varaga and digging the ground. You can see, along with the Vyadavari, the Varaga Avatara is digging the ground. So in Pandya, majorly Padabandha Adhisthana, very few Pradibandha Adhisthana. So only at Rameshwaram we have Kabodabandha Adhisthana. These kind of small observations we can make a note about the uniqueness of Pandya temple building activities. It is yet another temple. Today the temple complex is very big. Brahmadesam. But this is the original temple. This temple is not seen anymore in the big complex. This is one among the very few beautiful Dvitala Vimana of Pandyas, which has Pradibandha Adhisthana. You can see the Vettu Podiga. Like Cholas, they are also from the Podiga elements. We will get to know the time. Chola territory, the Vettu Podiga is introduced by Rajaraja and later kings. Like that, here also after 10th century only, we are able to see the Vettu Podiga. Chairma Devi, which is a fantastic execution by Pandyas. when I see this picture, I remember Vijayalaya Cholishwaram. The Aditala of Vijayalaya Cholishwaram exactly look like this. And another uniqueness of such experimentation, Ekatala, Dvitala, Tritala Vimanas will have a kind of element called Arpida, Anarpida. In Cholanadu, many of the temples are Anarpida, except one at Srinivasanallur near Trichy, which has, above the Hara and the second Tala wall, there is a space in between. But in Pandyas, many temples are like that. Particularly when we see about Mannar Goil, which has a proper circumambulatory passage, one can walk around the second Tala. So the basic structure, you can see the Hara above. Then the primary wall of the second Tala rises. Between the second Tala and the Hara, there is a small passage one can go around. Also, you can see the formation of Kandabada and Vedibada sculptures, which has only floral designs in this temple, which is the unique feature of Cholas. In Chola territory, right from Adita, I think till the end of Chola reign, you can see the Pada sculptures in many temples, which has unique theme like Ramayana, Kandapurana, Sivapurana, Mahabharata events, in many temples, particularly in the early Chola temples, we can see the narrative Ramayana from Pullamangai, Kumbakonam Nageshwaran temple, Gobarapatti, like that. But here it's just a formation of Galapada and Vedibada sculptures are available. And this is one of the fantastic grand show by Pandyas, Mannar Goil. Here also we can make a difference between Cholas and Pandyas. See the Pradivari. In Cholanadu, the Pradivari has only Vyaras. Here you can see horses, which is also the Anarpida Hara. The second floor you can go around. Second floor also has a house of sanctum, like the Vaikunta Perumal at Kanjipuram. This temple also has, Vaikunta Perumal has 4 talas. 3 talas we have deities. Here 2 talas we have deities. You can see. You can see between the first tala and second tala, the second tala wall is between the first tala hara and the second tala wall. We have a passage to go around. And this temple has many Ramayana sculptures and other miniature sculptures. Only Pada sculptures. This is the only temple. As of now, I have found, I have visited many temples. Only the Mannar Kovil has the miniature sculptures at Galapadas. Can you see the miniatures? Pattamadai. It's a simple Egadala Vimana. Here also you can see the Shala niche, which is just a beauty element, nothing more than that. Kuruvithurai Chitra Vallabha Perumal. Here you can see it is Dvitala Vimana in a very unique pattern. Just above the Aditala, the second tala wall started. There is no hara structures in the Aditala, but the hara structures are available in the second tala, which is a unique feature of Pandya, we can say. We cannot see such type of Vimana execution either in Cholas or in Pallavas. This temple is in Idaikal, Tiruvandishwara Nayanmar temple. So it is very rare to find such an architecture. In Idaikal, one more Perumal temple is there. That temple also has such feature. But that is also unique in terms of execution. The first tala hara is just shown as the attachment to the second tala. You can see, which is also a very unique feature. I haven't seen anywhere. Arupukotai. Like in later Chola temples, we find in between Karna and Salabhadras, you will see a Kumbha Panjara in between, which is also available in Arupukotai. It is very rare to see in the Pandya territory. Brahmapuram, Ladana Kovil. Here we can see it is reconstructed, not properly done, we can say, because so far we have identified from the Bhadra segmentation, we'll get to know the tala of a temple. Here you can see a Sala, Karna, in between a Panjara segmentation. So if we see a Panjara segmentation encompassing Sala, the temple should have minimum 2 floors. So here we are able to see only 1 floor above the Aditala. So it is reconstructed in an improper manner, we can say. This temple is, rising from a Upapida, having Kalapadas, Vedipadas. It could be a grandeur temple during those times, but somehow it is ruined and reconstructed in an improper manner. And here it is a fantastic and unique temple of Pandya territory. It is Uttaragosa Mangai. See the Aditala, it is also called by Mada Koil. It is it's a kind of debate. Either it is a Mada Koil or a proper normal temple. We can argue in both the manner, but as of now, we'll go along with the majority. Majority people say it is a Mada Koil. But as far as the Mada Koil's formula or the grammar of a Mada Koil is, 1 tala is empty tala. But from the picture itself, you can see Adi tala, there is an entrance to go inside. So according to the grammar of a Mada Koil, we cannot say it is a Mada Koil. But there is a second tala, you can go from the side steps and there is a deity. So the Adi tala has a deity, the first tala has a deity. After that, there are 3 more talas actually. Because of people consider as a Mada Koil, they are restricting into 4 floors. But we can see clearly 5-tiered Vimana this. So in the Pandya territory, this is the highest and many tiers Vimana.
Seetharaman, sorry.
Yeah.
How much more time to complete these slides so we can have a discussion also?
Yeah, probably 10 minutes I'll finish.
If you can speed it up, that will be great. Thank you.
Definitely. I'll do that. So this is the Adidala structure of that Uttarakosamangai. Then Urkadu and Ekatala Vimana. The Rameshwaram group of temples. The sad part is no original Vimana is available now. Only from the pictures we have to find such great, grandeur and beautiful Vimana of Rameshwaram. There were 4 temples existed. You can see a fantastic structure of Vitala Vimana and one Tritala Vimana. There are 4 temples were available. I think some 56 years ago, this picture would have been taken, I believe. Now the reconstruction spoiled the entire glory of our past. So in the earlier I have said the comparison of one Chola temple and Pandya temple, almost contemporary. The right side you see a Tiruchenambundi, Parandaga temple, left side the Tirupattur. You can see the difference of niches. The panjaras in between. The Chola style has a niche which can house a deity. The Pandya style has a niche which cannot house a deity. So we can clearly see the difference between Chola and Pandya almost in the same timeline. And this is, the temple I've seen near Udangudi. It is called Varaguna Pandishwara temple. It might be the later Pandya temple, which you can see the Badra segmentation. It's a simple 2-tier Vimana. We can see all the 2 tiers here. What is interesting in this temple is, we saw at Thiruvalishwaram, the Hara structure has the cardinal deities. Here, the Bhumi Desam has the cardinal deity, which is, I have never seen anywhere except this temple. The center portion of the Vyadavari, in the western portion, we can see Narasimha. North, we can see Brahma. South, we can see Dakshinamurti. Here is the temple. And also the Hara structures are, even it is reconstructed later, it is beautiful. Aranga Chalai, Aranga Karnakudu, it's all a fantastic one. And here we come. In Tamil Nadu, we have been discussing so far about Pandyas, Cholas, and Pallavas. They are all, the temple building activities can be classified into 5 major categories, either Nagara, Vesara, and Dravida. So the Nagara has 2 types, square and rectangular. Vesara also has 2 types, elliptical and exact round. In Pandya, in Pallava and Chola territory, we have apsidal Vimanas like Gajaprishta Vimanas, but we have not seen Gajaprishta in Pandya territory. But in Pandya territory, we have got a beautiful Vesara, perfect Vesara temple, which is Adagargoil. It is, some say it is elliptical. It is not elliptical. It is perfect Vesara. So elliptical is available in Juragaireshwara temple at Kanjipuram. There are 2 other Vesara temples in Tamil Nadu, which is one at Srirangam, which is perfect in round, Narasingampetai, which is also perfect in round. These 4 or 5 Vimanas only available in the entire Tamil Nadu as Vesara, which is very rare. This one is the classic example of Vesara Vimana of Pallava period. Sorry, Pandya period. It is a perfect Vesara, Tuya Vesara, because the base, wall, and Grivam, Sigaram, Stubi, all are Vesaras. So we are at the, now I can summing up the Pandya architectural unique features, like all of all type of temples, cave, monolith, structural. Also, they have contributed drawings, Chitanavasal paintings. In Chitanavasal, the paintings are available, the earliest paintings of Tamil Nadu, which is beautiful. They also contributed Goburas. Pandyas, they are specialized in Goburas, making mandavas, plenty of social structures and religious structures. So Egatala, Dvitala, Tritala, also four, if Uttara is considered as Madakoil, it is 4thala. It is not considered as Madakoil, it is 5 thalas. So in terms of Adhisthana, Padabandha, Pradibandha, Kabodabandha, only at Rameshwaram. Nagara, Dravida, Vesara, all type of Vimanas are available. Arpidahara at Mannargoil, which is very unique features of Pandyas. Tala without Haras. This is a very special feature of Pandya. Cardinal deities on Bhumi Desam, which is also we have never seen anywhere. So this is very rare and unique. Thank you. I hope I finished in time or taken some more time.
Thank you, Seetharaman. I want to at least touch upon 2 or 3 questions.
Oh, sure.
Do you want to keep your presentation on, or can you, do you want to show some images if I have some questions? What would you prefer? We can have.
Sorry, come again. I didn't get
No. Currently, you are sharing your presentation, which is come to the end.
Yes.
You can go back and show some pictures for Q&A.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Just go back. So first, let me highlight 2-3 questions. Right.
Okay.
The first thing is, of course, a lot of viewers have asked for, they would have preferred a lot more of images in the beginning when you were discussing the features of Pallava architecture and then Chola architecture. It was all in the form of tables. So many of them wanted to see images to correlate and correspond with the particular, technical words that you are using. But maybe, some other time we can do a more detailed lecture on that. Okay?
Sure, we'll do that. Yeah.
So now let me ask you a question. Now, why is it that the Pandya niche? So niche for those of us from the Chola region.
Okay. Yes.
Is always to house a deity.
Yes.
So there are either 3 niches.
Yes.
Then 5, then 7, and then it keeps on increasing. Right?
Okay. Yes.
But why is it that in Pandya country, it is not a place for the god, but only as a, let's say, embellishment.
Embellishment. Yes.
Why is that the case?
That has to be, it has to be look into that. We have to work upon it. We need to concentrate more on that. I also think in so many times why it is so.
Can you just go back to one of those images?
And also, while you are raising the question, I have a remembrance. All Muttarayas majorly under the reign of Pandyas, all Muttaraya temples have no niches. If 1 or 2 have, they don't have any deities. The classic example is Vijayalaya Solishwaram.
Right.
And even you can Visalur. All prominent Muttaraya temples have no niches in the Sala. So it could be rooted from Pandyas, I believe. But to answer this question, we need to work more.
Okay.
I
think even in the early part of the Karnataka Dravida style also, either there is no niche at all, or I don't know whether when they had niches, they were so thin as to not have any idols in them. But later on, we have a reasonably large size niches that can carry. So there is some relationship that requires more understanding. Maybe looking at some documents to find out
Yeah, definitely. You can see the Alagar Goil also. In Narsinghambettai also, Vesara temple in Chola territory. There is one pure Vesara temple at Narsinghambettai, which has niches and deities in the cardinal positions. See, in the Alagar Goil, there is only perforated windows.
Can you go back to Thiruvalliswaram image on your presentation?
Yeah, sure.
Just use the cursor and go back, because I have a question related to that.
Yes.
Just up arrow in the keyboard.
Yes.
So quickly go back there.
Can you see that now?
No, I can't. It's just showing me a white screen.
Oh, again, I need to share. Where?
I just see a white screen.
Now
yes.
you are, yeah, okay.
Yes. Thank you. Now, there are a couple of questions here.
Yes.
So, it is very clear that this temple was built by the Cholas.
Okay.
But the style,
yes,
distinctly non-Chola from the art of Chola.
Yes.
So we will take it as it's a Pallava temple. It's a Pandya temple built by the Chola kings.
Yes. You know, I was so sure it is built by Rajaraja once upon a time. Then, after visiting many temples and studying the small variations between Cholas and Pandyas, then I now come to know it might be built by Pandyas. Under the occupational period, you know, there might be Chola influence, but there is a solid difference between both the styles.
Okay, so we may say that you know, the probably a small chieftain of a Pandya background with the Pandya artisans has probably built it.
Yes.
But is obviously, you know, you have to pay respects to the absolute monarch who happens to be a Chola.
Yes.
And you have the inscription in his name.
Yes.
So we can understand that, because the.
But some historians say this temple would have been executed in the early 9th century, even before Rajaraja is born. Some people say, but the earliest reference we come to know from the temple is only from Rajaraja. So that is the confusion. But still, there are some unique styles, style variants in Chola and Pandya. Like the Kannanur and this, there are some 3-4 temples are having such debate.
Okay.
So Kannanur still no one finds, you know, who built the temple. But according to SRB, it is built by Aditya I.
Okay. So this is, you know, what really was interesting to me was how you unpacked step by step from the various elements that are normally found in the Chola temples and how in the Pandya temples they are different. That they are not there, or something else is there, or the way the niche is there, the way the Badra is structured.
Yes.
So it's quite technical.
Thank you.
You need to understand the basic technicalities.
Yes, definitely.
But for a lay person, let's say, you know, someone who doesn't understand all the technical words, etc. I just I am shown 2 temples. I'm just transplanted to one of the places. What is the easiest way in which I can say, hey, this is a Chola temple, not a Pandya temple, and this is a Pandya temple and not a Chola temple?
We need to look.
Don't use any keywords. Just tell me in the layman's term.
Okay, it is quite difficult, but I'll try.
Okay.
So, but from the look itself, you know, there would be, you know, you get a feel. You know, we have every, you know, I have as a builder, I can say this: every builder, like so many built an apartment. If you come to my apartment, I will show a uniqueness in my building activity. Like that, every builder, like Cholas, Muttarayas, Velirs, everybody has executed in a unique manner. There is some unique point. To know that unique point, we need to be technical. But the outlook itself will convey a difference. Here you can see the hara structure. In Chola, the hara is different. Here the hara is different. Like that. So the feel of from an outlook you can find.
So even
if you know technically, you can easily find.
For example,
yeah.
Very very trivialized kind of a thing, right?
Okay.
Now from an iconographical point of view, I go to a Pandya temple,
okay,
a Shiva temple.
Okay.
On the west, most likely I will see a Narasimha.
Okay.
The somehow in the Chola space,
yes,
it's not necessarily that you would see a Narasimha. You would probably see a Lingodbava.
But many a temple even in Chola territory will have will house it is the cardinal niches basically according to Agama, or we can say whatever the rule. The south belongs to Dakshinamurti, east belongs to Muruga, north belongs to Brahma, west belongs to Vishnu. This is the grammar which major temples are applying this grammar. Even let it be Pandya territory or Pallava territory or Chola territory. But some have differed, like Aditya, and later from Parandaka executed in this style. Particularly the second Talahara, Sala housing only such kind of formula. You can see even the Aditala varies.
Okay.
The first Talahara housing the cardinal deities in this order only. But west belongs to Mahavishnu, so various forms of Mahavishnu would have been represented. They have in some you can see directly Raja Srinivasa Perumal or Vaikundanatha Perumal. Like Pullamangai, you can see in Pullamangai, immediate above the Lingodbava, in the you can see Paramapadanatha, the sitting posture of Lord Mahavishnu, like that. So the formula is applied in Pandya territory also in that way. But there are some minimum builders may vary to show the uniqueness of temple building activity or a kind of self-expression.
Okay. So let me, again, time is pressing and we have to move to the next lecture.
Yeah.
I have, I want you to talk a little bit about the Kalugumalai monolith.
Okay.
The unfinished Kalugumalai monolith.
Okay.
Is a standout Pandya architecture.
Yeah, definitely. Undoubtedly, it is the only monolith of South. In the beginning of my lecture, as I say, the Tenbenai is the dividing point. So after the southern bank of Tenbenai, it is the only monolith. And the beautiful sculptures, if we want to explain about the architectural features, the Sala, Karnakudu, the Valabi, Griva, Sigara, Stubi, it's all fantastic. Absolutely flawless. But
the icons there are outstanding. So for a minute, I'm not even going to talk about the icons.
Yes.
From an architectural point of view, what are the standout features? Can you just go back? I know you only have a line drawing of it.
Yes.
Just bring that up. Yes, the next one. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, tell me a little bit about the architecture, and with that we will close.
Yeah. See, as when we discuss about the Bhadra segmentation, so the ground sthala must be segmented by Sala, Panjara, and Karna, because it's a two-tier Vimana. So the first Ara has Karnakudu, Sala, in between Nasikas, and it is, I think, we cannot say it is Arpitam, but there is a small gap in between.
Just a word here. What do you mean by Arpitam? So for our
Arpitam, Anarpitam, there are two words are used in the architectural world. The Arpitam means the second tala wall and the first tala hara In between, there is a passage. There is a gap to walk around. It is Arpidam. Anarpidam means that space is not available.
Okay.
So in Pandya territory, we have only one Arpita temple, which is Mannargoil. Okay. Here, I have seen this temple, but there is a small space, but it cannot. We cannot say it is Arpida Vimana. It is Anarpidam only. You can see the second tala wall clearly. So, which is a predominant feature of Anarpida structure. There is a small gap. You cannot walk around, but there is a clear-cut demarcation between the hara and the second tala wall, which also gives you the feeling of added beauty.
Okay.
So the second tala is clearly visible. On top of it, the griva, sigara, stubi. The stubi is not there, but it should have been there, I believe, because up to the Padma petals are also there. Only the stubi has to be put.
Right.
So it is complete over the Aditala. But in the Aditala, the inside the Garbhagriha is there. The outside sculptures are not sculptured. Probably we can say it is unfinished monolith, we can say. But on the other hand, as long as the temple is able to house a deity, it is also a functional temple.
So to me, this temple, irrespective of the fact that it's a monolith or it is semi-finished, I think it stands out in its perfection in terms of balance.
Yes.
The the presence of every single element
is fantastic.
Crafted.
Yes.
The core icons of gods.
Yes.
The others, the apsaras, the kalis, the bhutas.
Yes.
Entire combination.
And there is one beautiful sculpture of Shiva and Parvati in a sitting posture. This mind-blowing sculpture.
The front one.
Front one. Yes. Yes. And also the Budaganas of Mugamandava as well as the Karuvarai. Each one is to be inspected uniquely. In such a way it is carved and beautifully done.
So if I have to really pick one standout Pandya monument, there are many. But one single standout, it will have to be this. I mean, this is my view, but what is your view?
Yeah, absolutely. It is Kalugumalai. If you are not able to speak Kalugumalai, we are not covered the Pandya architecture. So the Kalugumalai is holding the entire Pandya temple building activity. We can say that. But many cave temples are fantastic, either by directly the Pandya kings or there are feudatories like Muttarayas, Thirumayam, Malayadipatti.
Right.
These are all beautiful structures. These are all fantastic, mind-blowing, and unique. In Malayadipatti, you might be seen one Vinayaka. I have never seen such a beautiful and inviting Vinayaka anywhere in the world. The uniqueness, unique presentations of Pandyas. So Kalugumalai is one among that. Even all sculptures are unique and beautiful.
Thank
you. The Budaganas executed in Kalugumalai is each and every one of Budaganas are to be studied separately.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. I think we have to do multiple topics on this.
Yes.
To really do justice to this. So we'll come back to you again to schedule quite a few talks, both in Tamil and in English, and let's carry this forward.
Yeah.
Now I will hand it over to Kishore.
Yes.
For introducing the next presenter.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Seetharaman. That was an excellent lecture. Lot of learnings, particularly with the architectural style, but also with several terms, and it really encourage us to go back and learn both basics and advanced and a lot of the terms that you introduced. For people who are watching this program, Mr. Seetharaman also delivered a lecture in our 2019 Pandya Pecha Kacheri on the structural Pandya temples of the Pandya kings. So if you've not watched it, we would highly encourage